The Boys from Brazil by Ira Levin. I do love a good sort of 70s thriller detective spy book. And this one's pretty good, but the plot is a bit fucking balmy. I'm going to spoil the sort of main premise, so if you don't want to know anything about this book, then I'd give this one a skip. To put it simply, Joseph Mengele, the Nazi geezer, wants to create a bunch of Hitler clones with the hopes that one of them will grow up and be Hitler 2.0 basically. Now that's a bit of a mad plot in itself, but then when you add in that part of that plan is to recreate the conditions of Hitler's life, it does get a bit convoluted. A part of me thinks that maybe this is more of a satire, as if it's making fun of sort of 70s thriller books and sort of Nazi fiction and taking it to an extreme. Or maybe that could just be how I'm viewing it almost 50 years later. When we find out that the plan is to make a bunch of Hitler clones, it's almost too absurd to think that that's where the book's been leading to. The book even points out how so many things would have to fall into place to recreate the mindset of original Hitler, which is a weird fucking sentence. There's the political and social and economic factors which all led to the rise of Hitler and the Nazi Party. You know, it's not just throwing the dickhead out of art school. So it is a bit fucking mad. But all that combined kind of makes me think that the story isn't meant to be taken that seriously. And the underlying message of it is that it doesn't take all this sort of convoluted nonsense to create another Hitler. And I don't mean literally create another Hitler, you know. People will always, you know, use certain social times and different factors to gain control and exploit the masses and, you know, be a fucking dickhead to everyone. The book also asks that sort of classic question of, would you kill baby Hitler? The clones are all around their teens, and it deals with the question of, would they be justified to kill them off if it meant that it would avoid another mass murderer gaining power? So it does have some interesting ideas, despite it being kind of a mad plot. Either way, it is a quite fun read actually, and I enjoyed finding out more of the mystery as the book went along. And I love the use of that sort of real world speculative fiction, mentioning things like the Odessa Project, Nazi human experiments, and of course Joseph Mengele himself, who makes a great villain, which is rather appropriate. His comeuppance towards the end of the book is satisfying as fuck, and it honestly wouldn't feel out of place in a Quentin Tarantino film. Yeah, it's definitely worth a read, I reckon. And I was gripped all the way through, which is what you want from a slightly insane 70s thriller spy book involving Hitler clones.